We're going to be sticking with Rockstar related news because Red Dead Redemption, there seems to be compelling evidence emerging that it is actually going to be coming to PC. And this comes from reputable data miner Tez2 on Twitter/X. He shared a tweet which seemed to show basically text dumps from the Rockstar launcher, which, basically says that the game is coming to PC. In fact, the actual string of text reads, "Journey across the sprawling expanses of the American Western Mexico in Red Dead Redemption and its zombie horror companion Undead Nightmare, now playable on PC." So, does seem to be sort of extremely compelling evidence. Oliver, what are you expecting from this? Because fundamentally, I will be extremely surprised if it's anything more than what we saw on PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I mean, this is like, I don't know. I'd be very surprised to see something that was much more capable or much more feature rich than what we saw on PS4 and PS5 consoles. This is way, way overdue considering the original game shipped all the way back in 2010 and there was controversy over the lack of a PC port even then, right? It was a PS3 and 360 title.
And the fact the sequel came out on PC.
Yes, that's true as well. So I covered this last year on PS4 and PS5 consoles. Then I also took a look at it when they updated the PS5 code to run at 4K 60. And you can get the PS5 code running at 4K 60 with FSR2 in sort of its native AA mode, so to speak. And here for the PC code, I mean, I would expect something similar. Maybe they'll support arbitrary frame rates. That's also a possibility, of course. I think this game is really played best with a pad, though. I mean, they could add DLSS. I'm sure they'll add the suite of temporal upscalers. I'd expect more than just FSR2, but I'm also not really that excited about the prospect of a game that is basically just going to, match the console versions feature for feature. I mean, you can do a little bit more with it maybe, but if you're already getting a 4K 60 experience on the PlayStation 5, there's not really that much exciting in the PC version, to me at least.
Absolutely. John, what would you want from Red Dead port for PC?
I don't really have much interest in it, to be honest, but I would just imagine it would run like absolute grease lightning. It should run on everything. You should be able to run at 90 FPS on the Steam Deck OLED with great image quality, and just that's what you expect. It needs to, at this point, like, if it's anything other than like an extremely ultra smooth, optimized, low requirement port, I'd be kind of bummed out. Like, you just expect that now, right? I guess the most exciting thing would be if people start playing around with the RTX remix stuff, and
if it ships with like DX9.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think it'll probably be DX11, 12.
It probably will be, but when you look at the age where it's from, like, conceivably,
it would be great to have that sort of.
It could have happened, but it's probably just going to be whatever modern APIs that they're using, of course.
But path tracing would be a great ad. After it,
it would be so cool, right?
It's just based on the low expectations. I'm just expecting you. I mean, if you look at the PlayStation 5 version now, I'm just predicting support for ultra wide and other upscalers. And anything beyond that, I mean, it'd be great. I mean, possibly there would be some advantages to pushing out draw distance and density, but they're already pretty decent. So I'm not sure what the actual visual return would be.
I mean, I would love a no more LODs mode. Like in Crysis, you can put in that command to just like push the LODs all the way out and draw everything in full detail.
On an open world, the memory
it's so demanding, but it would be freaking cool to see it just on an older game. Like, just draw everything.
Yeah,
I mean, it would even on Red Dead that would probably be pretty expensive, but it would be cool to see.
I do have a couple of requests that are not unreasonable, I think. The first request...
List your demands.
My demands. My first request is an Xbox release, because...
Yes. Okay, yes.
Oh.
The Xbox versions are still running the backwards compatible code, and that seemed like almost sort of defensible back when I covered these games on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, because they weren't that much better than the Xbox code running in backwards compatibility with the 9 times resolution and all that, 3 by 3 on the resolution there on Xbox Series and Xbox One X consoles. But now that the PS5 version is 4K 60 with that really nice FSR2 to clean up the image quite a bit relative to, the MSA, I believe that's on the Xbox. Yeah. I think that's definitely a version that should exist on Xbox Series. I also think it would be nice while we're at it if they could maybe update more of the UI to use high resolution elements, because they use high resolution button icons, which I think are like on the technical requirements checklist and whatnot. They need to do that. But the other elements of the UI are still just upscaled to 720p, which does not look too great, unfortunately. So there's a lot of like low hanging fruit with that port. I think they could probably clean up a little bit. But unfortunately, that's not what they did. So I don't know if it'll be fixed.
We have this supporter question from Carty Cinema. Guten Tag, TF! Exclamation point. With the news of this possible Red Dead PC port, what are the odds that Rockstar gives it an FPS cap like they did with LA Noire on PC? Do you think we'll finally be able to play this masterpiece at 120 FPS, which is already possible with Xenia, which is the Xbox 360 emulator? Cheers and keep up the good work. Well, the FPS cap on LA Noire was like a 30 FPS cap, if memory serves.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that it would be suboptimal to have a 30 FPS cap on Red Dead Redemption. I mean, I think if we look at things from an Occam's razor perspective, right, which is like the most likely scenario, the work that was done to take the game onto the PlayStation 4 will likely be the same, and the Switch, by the way, will likely be the same work that would be the technical foundation of a PC port. In which case, I mean, the PlayStation 5 version ran at 60, so I would expect that, the game should be able to run at 60 and possibly beyond. So hopefully there won't be a 30 FPS cap on an Xbox 360 class game. But obviously, if there is information included in the Rockstar launcher, this release could be very, very soon, and that's quite exciting.